Good morning. It's 2:50 a.m. and I just wanted to get on here and record something because I haven't in a while. Today we do not have a guest because this episode is about the State of the Union, shall we say. The Union is not doing well. The Union is crumbling, to be honest. And by the Union, I mean life in general. I, I, I could start with Palestine, which would be the most logical place for anyone to start. And according to Bisan, there's really nothing left to bomb because Israel has destroyed everything. But I'm sure they're still trying. Though this week they've moved to Lebanon. And in Lebanon, we have a few human trafficked Africans who are without their passports. And they were either left to fend for themselves by their owners, because they are owners, or locked in the house. Some of them managed to be evacuated to Tripoli in Egypt, but they were apparently thrown out of the shelter where they were staying because, and I quote, they're not Lebanese. Egypt has really been showing its ass since this whole thing started with Palestine, since the genocide escalated last year on October 7th. Egypt has really been showing its ass. But if you think about it, Egypt has been showing its ass for a long time, because if you think back to Aisha Sese and the expose she did for CNN, it was clear that Egyptians were selling other Africans on the slave market, they're literally slavers. So it is no surprise that they were selling freedom to Palestinians at such exorbitant prices, and B, closed their border finally so that Palestinians could not get out. Moving on to, we've done Israel, we've done Palestine, we've done Lebanon, right? Okay, so let's come home, and it's been a fairly turbulent time for us. It's so easy to get abducted off these Kenyan streets. So easy to get abducted now. And today, a young man named Morara Kibaso was abducted off the street. Now, this young man has just been going around educating Kenyans on just exactly how much money our dear government has been stealing from citizens by allocating money to projects which are white elephants. So he traveled around the country visiting these white elephants and just articulating how much money was allocated to an empty field, which was supposed to be an airport or a stadium or a school or a hospital. Ridiculous sums of money, by the way. So he was abducted, and of course Kenyans are very annoyed about that. At the same time, uh, a guy who does news and politics in Mombasa on TikTok, a TikToker basically from Mombasa, was abducted and sodomized by men hired by the governor. The governor of Mombasa hired people to sodomize a TikToker because he was annoyed at his content. He was annoyed at the fact that this guy was articulating to the populace how much corruption was going on. So, we seem to be in an epidemic of oppression. And I don't know if it's because the first time that Israel attacked a hospital, right? And everybody turned their backs. And everybody went from saying, this did not happen, to, if it happened, they had a good reason, but basically there are no repercussions. And so every single oppression-oriented leader around the world was like, oh, okay, we see how it is. And they're like, okay, so it's open season, and nobody can tell me shit, right? I mean, if it's okay to bomb hospitals, then what's a little abduction? What's a little murder? What's a little sodomy? What's a little rape? Huh? What's a little, like, if I just like put 8 bullets in this 12-year-old child, and then I go on the news and say, what? No, I didn't know. What? Isn't he alive? And you're the president of the country. I mean, it's just normal now, isn't it? Like, this is the new normal. And I think that's what is like causing such a disconnect between what should be and what is, right? Because we are here, we are watching, and we're not doing a thing. And maybe we've forgotten like what it is that we can do. Because there's a lot of helplessness. You feel a lot of helplessness as well, because you watch like, oh, they bombed the babies are dead. Oh, is that like outrageous? Because my mind is telling me that's outrageous, but no one seems to be moved. Everyone's talking about the last episode of Nobody Wants This. By the way, I think I'm literally anti-Semitic because I cannot watch that program. I cannot watch it. It just makes me want to shout, Free Palestine. Anyway, so we sit, we talk about Interview with a Vampire, and we talk about whatever Cardi B is doing with Offset, or we talk about, oh, Diddy is bisexual, how scintillating, oh, baby oil. But we ignore the babies with their heads blown off. We ignore the humans beings being evaporated, like they cease to exist. And somewhere in the back of your mind, you have to know that if they're using these weapons on Palestinians and Lebanonians, Lebanese guys, one day they're going to turn around and use it on you, right? I mean, this is something that you have to know, like somewhere intellectually. But no, let's talk about how many times Offset has cheated on Cardi B, and how wrong it is that she might have cheated back when she was pregnant, because this is what is pertinent. This is what is pertinent news. Okay, this is what is important. Okay, and I am not saying that you shouldn't like get lost in gossip, because that's what might be what you do for your mental health, right? That's maybe how you deal with shit. Okay, but are you dealing with shit, or are you running away from shit? Okay, just ask yourself briefly those questions. Of course, there's always that thing of, okay, but what can we do? But maybe if everyone was asking that question, what can I do? Maybe we can all do something small. What can I do? I can document. That's what I can do. I can document what is happening in society, right? At the moment, people are talking about going back to the streets, but you can feel that the energy is not quite there. Okay, when you have seen someone's brains blown off, when you know that the man you are dealing with is absolutely ruthless, then you really cannot be blamed for not wanting to provoke him. Yeah? So I am not judging anyone who feels like, wow, I don't know if I can do this again. I don't know if I can go to the streets, right? Because, wow, like, that man is ruthless. But are we just going to sit and do nothing? That's the other thing. That's the question. Are we just going to sit and do nothing? Are we going to turn a blind eye? Maybe we don't do things which can get us killed. Maybe going to the streets can get us killed. But what else is there that we can do? I mean, I've seen people doing some very ingenious things, making websites to track white elephants, making websites to track lost IDs, because these people are trying to make it hard for you to get a new one. What else? Breaking into trainings for this new and very, very fake health insurance thing, so that is disrupted. And yeah, they're trying to steal everything from right in front of our noses, like, even without lying. Like, this new health insurance thing is just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like, the audacity to sit there and say, okay, the old National Health Insurance Fund is now obsolete. We have this new struggle thing where we will take your money. And there's no way that you can unsubscribe. Okay. And these are the benefits. Oh, surprise, there are no benefits. Okay, but you still have to pay for it because we said so. And they just expect you to be like, oh, okay then. That's fine. There are people who rely on NHIF to get medical help. I saw one person saying the dialysis that they get costs 168,000 Kenya shillings, and NHIF would have paid 100,000 Kenya shillings of that 168, and now they have to pay the full amount. Okay, so this is not just games. This is not fun and games. This is not theories. These are people's lives. These are people's lives that are being played with. Okay, and so there's no either way we die. You go to the streets, you die. You stay home, you die. You see, like, that's where we are. That's where we are as a nation. That's where we are. So I don't know what we're going to do about this man. I always knew he was this bad. I always knew, and I always wondered why everyone else doesn't know. But now that everyone else knows, oh God, it's like literally just having a monster. He's a monster. He's a monster, and he's in charge of us. And how do you get the monster out? There's always a special sword, and for the monster always needs a special sword, and we gotta find that sword, and we gotta cut its head off. Call Sam and Dean, call Harry Potter, call whoever you need to call. Okay, we need to get this done. So anyway, this has just been like a long rant, but I hope that you learned something that you didn't know before. Forgive the technical issues. We're getting used to the new podcast settings, and recording is not the same. Okay, anyway, have a good day.